Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the second video of belts, I guess we could say. I filmed both of these videos at the same time. Today you're watching the Who Has the Best Range Belt video. I did do a previous video that came out before this where we're talking about EDC belts on who do I think has the best EDC belt. We are talking about two different companies, both of which I love. And some that have, both have pros and cons. We're going to go over all the different things, all the different options, and in my opinion, who do I think has the best range belt between these two that I use both of which. So be sure, if you haven't checked out the EDC belt, if you're interested in that, be sure to check that out. That may or may not be popping up on the screen somewhere here. Today we're doing range belts between Core Essentials and Blue Alpha Gear, both of which I've used for a couple of years. I've got a bunch of different belts between EDC and range belts that I've used all of them for a long period of time. And we're going to talk about what I do and don't like, even though I have all of them. And we're going to talk about all the different options. If you don't have one and you're interested in getting one, some of the things you may or may not like, to pick which one you would go with. So let's just hop right into it. First off is Blue Alpha Gear. Now I actually have this one set up because I am currently using this one anytime I go out to the range. We may or may not talk about all the stuff I've got on here, but this is the range belt or duty belt, depending on what you want to call it, from Blue Alpha Gear. Now, as most range belts or duty belts, you've got a 1.75 inch belt here. And then you have the big Cobra buckle up here. And you have two tabs over here. If you want to take this on and off, you just depress these and this pops out. You want to put it back in. It pops in, just like that. Now, the colors, you can get the belt, I think, in a couple of different colors. Buckle is going to be the same. It's going to be this buckle in black on all of the belts that you get, which you may or may not like. Doesn't really matter. But they're all like that. It's all the Cobra buckle like that. That's how it adjusts and everything. If you need to adjust it, it's just like the EDC belts, where you'll actually take this off. And this, unlike the EDC belt that they have, the EDC belt has some Velcro on here for this to like slap on and stick down to. This one doesn't have that. You'll just adjust this and it loops through this male end of the buckle, and you adjust this, and then you have a little thing over here that'll just hold the excess belt in place so it's not like flapping around and stuff. So when you get this, you're going to have to tell them what your belt size is, and they'll make this according to your belt size, and then you have a little bit of adjustment just like that. Just like most range belts, you've got Molly here, which is really good for you to connect a bunch of stuff like this onto. And something that is kind of neat that I do not use all of the time, you have Velcro in here. And what is that for? When you're running this, if this would go, okay. When you're running this, it actually has an inner belt like this. That's adjustable with, you got Velcro there, and you'll just adjust it how you need to and slap it on there. So what you'll do, and like I said, I don't use, most of the time, I don't use this, but I have before. So what you'll do is you'll have your pants loops, and you'll actually put this belt on through your pants loops. And then this has the other end of the Velcro on the outside. So once you put this on your pants through your belt loop and you get it adjusted right, then you put this guy around, and it will stick to that Velcro in there just for more security, and there's no chance of it like sliding around. You'd have to be doing a whole lot of moving for this thing to slide around, but that is there. It's a really neat option. I really like that, even though I don't use it all the time. But that is an option with the Blue Alpha Gear range belt or duty belt. Oh, and I guess before I set this down, let's talk about this, even though I've talked about it before. Has been a while. For stuff I've got on here, that pretty much stays on here all the time. I have a pack shot timer, which I love using that on taking it to the range and trying to get faster repetitions in with just about anything I'm doing. I've always got that on there. I have two different pistol magazine carriers over here. And then I have kind of a dump pouch back here on my back. This one is, I don't remember who that is. I think I got it out of a Tac Pack box or something. It's like Bull Tactical or something like that. This is a company I won't even mention because they're not really, I don't think they're even in business anymore. My dump pouch back here I use for just about everything, trash or picking stuff up. Or if I'm doing skeet shooting or something, I'll like load this thing up with shells so I'm not running back and forth to the truck or something like that. And then wrap around here, I have my gloves with a little clip that's on there and a rifle magazine over here, which is the same company that's out of business. And then I have my pistol holster over here, which there's not a name on it and I can't remember where I got that from, but it's an OWB holster. So there's that. I have this set up this way because of how I shoot. With pistols, I'm right-handed, so that is right here on my right side. Then I've got my timer down here on my left side. My pistol magazines are on my left side because I shoot pistols right-handed. So I've got my pistol in my right hand. If I reload, I can eject a mag, use my left hand, get a new magazine, and pop it in place. Rifles, because the rifle magazine is on the right side here, I actually shoot left-handed, which is weird, I know, but you know, there are a few of us that are better than others. I shoot left-handed, so if I eject a magazine from my rifle, I'm holding it right here and I pull a new magazine out with my right hand and pop it in and go. That's what I've got set up on my belt, nothing too crazy. And that's how I set that up. So that is the Blue Alpha Gear Ranger Duty Belt, which I am currently using. That's why all the crap is on it. So let's go on to the next guy. All right, so here we have a gun or range belt from Core Essentials. Now, I made the mistake of when I ordered this, I found out they had a belt that was more like this. You know, the only added thing was it had Molly on it. But I don't believe it had the inner belt like we talked about with Blue Alpha Gear. The only difference was it had Molly on it. So this one that I got is from Core Essentials. This one is one of their Garrison belts. Now you have Garrison belts and then you have battle belts. This is a Garrison belt. It looks more like an EDC belt, and then their battle belts look more like what I got from Blue Alpha Gear with Molly on it and stuff like that. And that's another plus where it might interest you. If you go with Core Essentials, you actually have more than one option for a range belt, depending on what you're doing and stuff like that. So this is the Core Essentials Garrison belt. And like the Blue Alpha Gear, you're talking about a 1.75 inch belt. Also with their battle belt, it is the same 1.75 inches. And this particular belt that I got, unlike Blue Alpha Gear, you can get different belt buckles like this. Also, this is the G1 black on black. Tactical. I missed tactical. Yeah. So that's it. And also something like that we've talked about in the EDC video that we did with Blue Alpha Gear. You have to tell them your belt size, and it's made to your belt size, your waist size, whatever. And you have a little bit of adjustment with Core Essentials, even with their Garrison belts or their battle belts. They just send you that particular belt and that buckle, and you just size it yourself. So you have the same key system in here, which is really, really neat. I like that. And if you want to go with something like this, this doesn't have Molly on it, but you can pop a bunch of stuff on here like holsters and, you know, magazine holders and stuff like that. They do say that this has a 10-pound rating, I think, on it, which is very reasonable. And I mean, you're not going to be putting more than 10 pounds on your belt anyway. And like I said, you can get different buckles for this one, for the Garrison belts. So this is pretty much a thing where I would put this on and pretty much use it as an EDC belt, but in plans that I'm going to the range to be doing some stuff, and I can pop just about anything I want on it pretty much. And then I can pop all of it off if I want to, and then just leave it on. And there's no real need for adjusting or taking it on or off like that. With the Core Essentials and the Blue Alpha gear, who has the best? Now, like I said, you have two options with Core Essentials. You pretty much just have one option with Blue Alpha gear. That may be a pro for you. I don't know. It wasn't, I mean, it's kind of a pro, but with what I use it for, it's not that bad. And I'll talk about in this video how I run most of the time, which I didn't talk about in the EDC video. But if I've got everything on here, I'm ending up popping it all off because this belt's pretty much staying in the belt loops. So that's kind of a pain. And the adjustment, which I really, really like, which we talked about in the EDC video, doesn't really come into play that much for me with a range belt or duty belt. So this is the Garrison belt. They do offer a battle belt, which I do not have, but I read a little bit about it. That only has one buckle, but it's still the same key system like this, just not this particular buckle. And you get one specific buckle for that, and I think the belt you can get in just black or tan. So you don't have all the options that you do with everything else. And the adjustment is the same. They send you a belt and then you cut it to get it however you want. Battle belt. This is the Garrison belt. It's recommended for like 10-pound weight. The Garrison belt talks about how you can put 20 pounds of weight on it. So you have a little bit more rigidity and you can pop more stuff on it and stuff like that. But pretty much it's the same thing, except you have less buckle options, less color options, but you get Molly. So that's all with Core Essentials, Garrison belt, and duty belt, range belt, whatever. Their options. This is Blue Alpha gear, Core Essentials. You have a little bit more options here, but what makes me pick Blue Alpha gear over Core Essentials as far as a range belt is the buckle. I love this buckle, the Cobra buckle. Just pop it on and off. Why? Because if I've got a range belt, I've probably already got a belt on. Now, we talked about this. For their belt, you know, you can put this on your pants, and then that puts it on. It attaches to the Velcro on here. I'm not a big fan of this. Most of the time, I don't even use this. So most of the time, I've got a range day. In the previous video we did on who has the best EDC belt, if you haven't yet seen that, pause and go over there, because I'm about to tell you the result of that video here. So pause it and go over there if you're interested in that. But this is the EDC belt that if I had to get rid of all of my EDC belts and only keep one, which one would I keep? This is it, from Core Essentials. So most of the time I've got this belt on my pants all the time. So if I've got this on my pants all the time, I want a range belt to just slap on when I go to the range. When I'm done at the range, I can slap on. So I've got this on my pants. Blue Alpha gear is usually who I take to the range. Why? Because the only reason is the buckle. Now this is their Garrison, but pretty much just bear with me. It might be the Battle Belt. Pretty much same thing, except just Molly and less options. If I've got my belt on, or my EDC belt on already, only thing I don't like is when I take it off is you have to do all of this and everything. And if you want to put it on, do all of this, which isn't that big of a deal. But if I had to pick one versus doing all that, it's much easier to just pop this around here, pop it on, and you're good to go. You ready to take it off? Pow. Now, that is not the only, these aren't the only companies that make range belts that are good or whatever. This is just 2 belt companies that I really, really like, that I use on a regular day basis for range or duty belts and also EDC belts. So in the EDC belt video, I talked about Core Essentials is a particular belt that they offer. Is what if I had to get rid of all of them, which one would I keep? One of them was the Core Essentials belt. If I had to get rid of everything that I have range belts, which one would I keep? It would be the Blue Alpha Gear range belt, just for the adjustment kind of ability, because you're not really having to adjust that at all unless you're like in the middle of losing a lot of weight or gaining a lot of weight or something like that. You aren't going to be adjusting that real often like you would be with the EDC belt if you're like standing up or sitting down a lot, stuff like that. So that is who I picked with who has the best range belt. It comes in with Blue Alpha Gear. If you're interested, even though if you've watched this far and I've already really told you who I picked for who has the best EDC belt, if you're interested in checking that out, seeing all the things we talk about, that video should be in the description or may not pop up on the screen. So we did a video on who has the best EDC belt and now who has the best range belt. I've told you all of my opinions with that. Like I said, these aren't the only 2 companies that make range belts or EDC belts. It's just 2 companies that I really like, and I have a bunch of different options from them, and I talk about pros and cons of different ones and why I pick one particular one over the other in different scenarios. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Get down in the comments section and let me know all of your thoughts down there. If you haven't yet, be sure to get subscribed and be sure to follow me up on Instagram. Post a lot of pictures up on there of stuff, some things that make it here on YouTube and some stuff don't make it on YouTube. You can check out the pictures over there. Be sure to ring the bell so you don't miss anything. That is all for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.